we couldn't do it. Kinetic Animation's 2003 teams include Dirty Duck, Spider-Man, Incontent, Miccosukee Indian Gaming, Fury, Screamin' Eagle, The Switch, Tommy Bahama, Nemshoff, Fisher Racing Donzi, J.E.M. Briosky, WHM Motorsports, In Motion Again, White Knuckles, DeSantis Chevrolet, Rum Jumpy, Virgin, High Noon, H2O Motorsports, Propco, Team TKO, Merlin Marine, Full Yellow Jacket. We're on board now, Kinetic Animation. For all your vinyl needs, Kinetic Animation. Now, Mark Hanna's wife, Roxy, will be throttling this afternoon in White Typhoon. Let's listen. On board Kinetic Animation with Mark Hanna, the driver, Ryan Beckley, the throttle man, doing a great job. Now, Mark is from Orlando, Florida. Ryan from Bradenton, Florida. Currently in second place in the national point standings. They took a second in Fort Lauderdale and third in Milwaukee. Second in Sarasota as well. Now, Ryan Bankley, the throttle man, will be in Screamin' Eagle this afternoon. Spectator votes lining the course. Here's How Sweet It Is. How Sweet It Is with Roy Schrader and John Peterson. A little closer. It's a skater, Mercury powered. Bacardi Silver, Dave Scott, John Tomlinson on board. And up ahead is The Switch. Curtis Watkins and John Tenn. All right, How Sweet It Is, Bacardi Silver and Callum Marie, 1, 2, and 3. We got a green flag now in race number 1 for the 2003 Fort Lauderdale Offshore Grand Prix. And it's How Sweet It Is, Bacardi Silver and Callum Marie on the far outside. How Sweet It Is on the inside. It's Roy Schrader and John Peterson aboard, driver and throttle man, skater. How Sweet It Is. Bacardi Silver in the middle with David Scott and John Tomlinson as the skater. And on the far outside, Cal Murray with David Callan and John Constantine. How sweet it is on the inside with Roy Schrader and John Peterson, Mercury powered. How sweet it is. Bacardi and Callan up ahead on the outside. Both Bacardi and Callan have gone over 200 miles per hour in their kilo record. Round the turn, the first one of this race. How sweet it is. Bacardi and Callan on the far outside. Roy Schrader and John Peterson for this skater. How sweet it is. Legendary How Sweet It Is. We're watching the Outlaw Performance PX class. Nice throttling there by Mr. John Peterson. Bacardi Silva on the outside. Boats spreading out. Rum Jumbie, Airborne, WHM, Bacardi Silver, Reliable, Flowmaster, and Briowski on the far outside. And we've got a green flag now in race number 4 in Sarasota, Florida, in Supercat, Supercat Light, and Supercat Light Outboard. Going to the immediate lead is WHM Motorsports, Reliable Carriers, and Rum Jumbie. And Bacardi Silver on the outside. WHM, Reliable, Rum Jumbie, and Bacardi Silver, your early leaders right now in race 4. WHM, Reliable, and Rum Jumbie. Let's go on board now. On board WHM. WHM, it's a skater. Mercury powered. Bill Moff and Jose Pepe Lama, driver and throttle man. Bill Moff, the owner of WHM. Took a third place in Daytona, second in Marathon, a third in Savannah, and a fourth in Milwaukee. Currently in second place in the national point standings. WHM Motorsports. Just listen to that Mercury power plant. Jose Pepe Lama on throttle. There's Reliable Carrier on the right. WHM being sprayed down. All right, back to our helicopter shot and your leaders. WHM, Reliable, Rum Jumbie, and Bacardi Silver in the mix. Everyone off to a great start. Reliable Carriers, 40-foot skater, Mercury-powered. Tom Abrams is the driver. Jerry Gilbraith is the throttle man. Took a third place in St. Cloud, a fourth in Marathon, a fourth in Savannah, first in Milwaukee, and a sixth place in Daytona. Currently in third place in national points. Sponsors include Reliable Carriers, Tech Plus Trailers, Old Village School, and Eddie Marine. Crew chief is Eric Hertigam. Now, Tom Abrams and the Reliable Carriers offshore racing crew showed their caring attitude at the Old Village School in Northville, Michigan for special needs children. What happened was that the crew got together and got their trailer and their 40-foot skater and brought it to the school and brought it to the parking lot and showed the kids, all 120 of them who came out to the parking lot, showed the kids the boat and the trailer and had sort of a show and tell program, and the kids were really appreciative. The staff and kids were thrilled with this extra special treat, a big truck with it carrying an offshore racing boat. And after the show and tell, Tom Abrams and the crew presented the school with a framed aerial picture of the Super Cat racing offshore, along with a special contribution to the school. During their visit with the kids wished the crew members good luck for the racing season. And after that visit, the racing team raced in Milwaukee, which they won. They won in Milwaukee. And as a result of that, Tom Abrams and the racing team wrote a little note to Art Fisher, the director of that school, and said that perhaps their visit there may have brought them a string of good luck. And right now they are in first place. Reliable Carriers in first place right now here in Sarasota, and that visit just may well have brought them some good luck indeed. Reliable Carriers in first place right now in Super Cat. Reliable 40-foot skater powered by Mercury. Tom Abrams and Jerry Gilbraith on board, driver and throttle man. There's WHM Motorsports. WHM. Bill Mopp and Jose Pepe Lama. Powered by Mercury, WHM. WHM currently in second place in the national points. WHM in second place. Race number 4, 2003 Sarasota Offshore Showdown. Reliable Carriers there. You see the wake of Reliable. There's Reliable Carriers in first place in Super Cat. Tom Abrams and Jerry Gilbraith. Outboard WHM. Bill Off and Jose Pepe Loma, driver and throttleman. Reliable carriers on the left side. Tom Abrams and Jerry Gilbrand. The national point standards. White Knuckles took the first place in T class the other day. Troy Wood and John Trotto on board. Sponsors, Hyannis Collision. This team is part of the Competitive Edge Motorsports team headed by Steve Schmidt. On board, White Knuckles. Snake Man Racing, it's a skater. John Robinson's the owner and the driver. Steve Thiel, the throttleman. John Robinson from Rockville Center, New York. Steve from Manchester, Connecticut. In second place in Super Cat Light Outboard, Snake Man Racing.